Yo, what's going on, guys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another 7 Daily Sins Grand Cross video. For this, we'll be going over an introduction to the new guild boss Einek, or Einek, I don't know how to say his name. Einek? Maybe? I don't know. It's the next guild boss that's going to be coming on Tuesday to the global version. And I'll be going over this with some global-based teams so you can kind of get an introduction to the fight. And I'm not going to be going over max min on the teams, but I will help you get a good start on it so you guys can try to formulate your teams and figure out what's best. I don't really have a best-case scenario team for the global version yet, and I am still testing out teams, but I will give you a full breakdown of the boss fight. So, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alrighty, guys, so let's go ahead and go over the the new guild boss that's going to be coming out to the global version, and talking about the point gains and how they're a little bit different than the current one that's on the global version. I'll be going over the point breakdown and what you can get for points here, and I'll be talking about how they're a little bit different as far as the overall point structure, and I will also be going over how you can really maximize your points and what you can do and different strategies you can implement. This guild boss fight is actually much different than the original guild boss fight because it has major differences in the ability kits of the actual guild boss. So for the normal version, you're going to get somewhere between 20 to 50,000 damage dealt. You're going to get up to 3 points for doing up to there, and 50 to 100,000, 100 to 200,000. 200, 500,000, 500,000 plus. You're going to be getting lots of different point gains here. You can see, okay, you get lots of different point gains, but it's pretty much the same from normal through extreme. You're not going to have any issues there as far as damage goes. You just have to do a certain amount of damage, and if you do a certain amount of damage, you get additional points. There's also, of course, max min damage that you're going to be dealing, but this is basically for every damage value you've dealt, I believe, and that's from the translation I just put out through the Japanese version. For skills for the normal difficulty, if you're using a rank 1, you get 1 point, rank 2, you get 2 points, rank 3, a 5 point, and then moving 3 points. Special abilities are a little bit different. You get 10 points for those in normal. Now, there are 3 different abilities that you can do throughout this fight, and each time you use one of these abilities, you are able to get additional points. And if you use a cleanse effect, you get 10 points. The cleanse effect could be from Green Liz, it could be from Escanor, it could be from a bunch of different units, but every time you use one of those abilities, you are getting 10 points. If you use a burst ability or a charge ability, you are getting a 5 point or another 5 point gain. And these were different values based on the difficulty rating. So as you can see here, for a cleanse, you get 10, 15, or 20 points depending on the difficulty. For a burst, you get 5, 10, or 15, and finally a charge of 5, 10, or 15. So by using these kinds of abilities, you do get a little bit more points, and it can give you a little bit of a bump. Just for doing the specific difficulty rating, the minimum value points you're going to start off with is 50 points for normal, 150 for hard, and 300 for extreme. As far as the other things that you have to know about this guild boss, there are additional point gains and losses that are somewhat different than the current one that is on global. The first one is damage and damage are added in proportion to the number of surviving characters. This is the direct translation. It kind of sucks. So points are added. Remaining HP, not flat HP percentages. So this is actually a little bit different as well from global. If you have more HP on your team, you actually get more points. And what we're testing out is multi-high HP teams that would give us more points. And it actually does work out where you're doing the same amount of damage as before, but you actually get more points for the total flat amount of HP you have in your team. So a high HP team using like Twiggo or Jillian or something like that, in order to give you a mono red team or a mono green team, more HP, that would work out. You could use Marmus to do the same trick. There are many different variants you could do for this thing. You also get a proportion based on your team composition. I don't know what this is, actually. They actually did not state what the team composition would be. I'm kind of confused. Action for a number of turns. You basically, if you take too long, you're going to be losing points. I'm assuming it's the same point breakdown that we had from the original guild boss fight. I don't know exactly how many points, but I can put that in here as well for like the original guild boss and what it would take in point loss there. Points added for the proportion to the max damage done to the enemy. So if you hit the enemy very, very hard, you're getting additional points for that as well. For the team, what I have right now is I have an Escanor with attack defense gear with attack defense rolls, Valenti with resistance rolls and HP defense. I got Jillian over here with an HP defense set, and of course I have Liz with an attack and defense set. If you want to use an HP defense set for Liz, that's fine, but I'm using her as kind of a DPS unit. You could also use an attack defense set for Valenti. Either one works. I would try to go as much as much HP as possible as you can. And if you want to use attack food, that's fine too. It really just depends on what you're going to get for total damage and if you can one-shot or not one-shot. Overall, it's going to really, the guild boss is always kind of a whale fight. You're going to be competing with other whales, so you have to figure out exactly how you're going to do the maximum there. These are just really accessible characters that you can use. Escanor is on a lot of banners right now, and a lot of people have him. If you wanted to try to use Jericho, you could attempt it. I'm not sure it's going to work, but you can attempt it. I'm not going to give you a yes/no on this. I don't know if it will work, but you can try it. Valenti is a very accessible character right now for a lot of people. She's out in the banners right now, and she's most likely going to be on another banner coming soon. You don't need her, but she does help with a lot of damage reduction on the fight, so you will help if you're there, so you have higher max HP at the end. Jillian, every single player in the game should have at this point, and of course Liz. These are all great characters for this fight, and if you have not worked on these characters yet, I kind of recommend it. They're pretty good. If you wanted to replace Valenti, you can use whatever you want. I would probably use a green character with a lot of HP, but you know, there's large amounts of characters you can use. It doesn't really matter too much. You could try Gil Thunder if you'd like, if it would work for a buff, but that's entirely up to you. Gil Thunder also will not provide great damage for Escanor. He'll only provide damage for your Lizhawk, so that's another issue. So there are many other options that you could use for flipping in units in and out, but you just have to experiment on your own and try out and see what team will work best for you, because no matter what, if you're trying to half-ass a guild boss, you're never going to get the top score. And if you want to go for just an average clear, you could go for that, but I'm not going to say you're going to be able to do that because the fight requirement on extreme is 170,000. For the lower difficulties, it's much easier, so just go for whatever works best for you. The fight is much easier than the first guild boss. So this time the guild boss is actually going to have two different abilities, and they're going to be different per phase. So if you're going to be doing the normal version, the hard version, or the extreme version, the boss is very different on all three versions. The normal version of the boss is basically phase 1 of extreme. The phase 2 of extreme is the hard version, and then put together on extreme, it's just two different phases that have higher values. So the first ability here, this is going to be a 170% damage effect that's going to deal, that's going to cleanse one enemy. So this is either going to do 170 or up to 180% on a rank 2, and it's just going to cleanse whoever you want on the field. So that is a very, very strong annoying effect. And the second ability this boss has is it is going to do 190% attack, and then it also has a the ability just like the blue Lizhawk, the red Escanor, where if you have more buffs on the character, you get additional damage, so 30% damage increase per buff that he has on him. So he's going to have more and more damage based on the number of buffs he has on him, and since he rebuffs every 2 turns, it's going to be really annoying. The buff that he's going to be putting on the shelf is going to release the buff effect, buff and debuff effects for 2 turns, and once the shield is broken, just like Ifrit shield, you're able to just work on him. You're able to do debuffs against him, etc. And it's got an immunity buff that when it breaks, just like an Ifrit, if you are able to debuff the boss and use whatever you want on him. The shield is equal to 400% of his defense. The second ability that he has for a different buff, this one is going to, if you attack him during this phase, just like an Ifrit, he's gonna have that spiky thing buff that if you hit him, all your ultimate gauge will be completely removed while this buff is up. His ultimate ability on this phase is gonna do 400% damage toward a single enemy, and that single enemy hit is gonna be hit fairly decent hard, but he has a very low attack stat because he only has about 5,900 attack on normal difficulty. Going to use his Atom Shield every 2 turns, which is the shield that basically he puts on everybody himself, just like the Ifrit shield, very, very similar to that. And every 3 turns, he is going to use the thing where he has that spiky shield buff where he's able to lower your ultimate ability if you attack him. The boss is also immune to any type of Petrify, Stun, or Freezing effect. And what's also very annoying about this boss is that he actually has buff attack target priority. So if an enemy has a buff on them, he's actually going to prioritize attacking that target. He also takes 50% less damage from counters. All right, we're trying this with double HP. Let's see if this works out. Maybe I should have used HP Def Escanor or something like that. I think a full HP Def row would be the best here. It's kind of a weird fight, you know? You're like rushing an ultimate, but you're not rushing an ultimate kind of thing, you know? Yeah, I don't know. You don't have to worry about breaking the shield either. You can just like do moves. That's actually kind of cool. You don't actually have to worry about breaking the shield. You can just do moves on your cards and just rush an ulti that way, right? I guess getting merges would be better though. Like dumping the cards would be better. Yeah, so we just do like... Because everybody has HP skills and HP right now, so I mean... Julian's on, yeah. Alright, are we gonna get anything? I'm probably gonna go for the green Lizhawk ulti here. It makes like the most sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and rush her ulti now. We're gonna do this for a move. Do this, and we're gonna go ahead and do this real quick. And then I'm just gonna do this. I guess I could do, I wonder what would do more, green Lizhawk or Valenti? I think Valenti, since my Valenti is 6/6, you might actually do more damage. So I'm gonna go for a Valenti ulti actually. So now we get the Valenti ulti. I'm gonna put his buffs back up. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and throw out an Escanor card here. A defense skills down, and then ulti on her, and then just drop a whatever. So Escanor card breaks the shield, and then we're just gonna do a defense skills down on Valenti here. A little bit more damage, and then ulti with a rupture based attack. Kaplow, 258,000, pretty good. And maybe the Liz would have done more. I'm not really sure which one would have done more, but he takes reduced damage from ulti, so it's actually kind of hard. So that's about 1,400. It's not bad, not bad. On the hard difficulty, the boss is actually going to have very different abilities as well as very different passives. The first ability here is going to do an area effect attack, very, very similar to the way if Freak was doing damage to all enemies. And it's going to do 50% of his damage, but then also if it does damage to the enemies, it's going to apply a 10% of maximum HP corrosion, very, very similar to Demon Meliodas' level 3 corrosion, where it's going to be based off of the max target HP. It's going to be applied for 3 turns. Ability remains the same. It's still going to just be an amplify based attack that's going to be against a single target and just do damage to that target based on the amount of buffs he has. The shield is going to be very much the same as well, except that now it's going to have 500% of his defense based on instead of 400%, and his overall spiky shield thing stays the same. The major difference on this between the two here is his ultimate ability, and his ultimate ability is a very, very different ultimate ability. It is going to do 400% against damage against all enemies, and then rank down all skills. For every skill that is deranked, it's going to be very, very similar to Hauser's ultimate, where if you ultimate all the entire team and they have skills that are ranked up, you're going to lose ultimate gauge based on the things that are missing. The passive abilities are very similar, where you have every 2 turns you're going to have the same things that we were having before, and he's still going to attack targets with buffs. All right, so on Einek, what I want to do in the first turn here is you'll notice he has the debuff skills, and what you want to do with this particular strategy is you're going to try to bring him down just a bit, and then throw up the red Slater at the end here. So you should have more than enough damage to break the shield, and once you break the shield, then you'll be able to do it. You can see you can get 3 attacks in, and it's way more than enough damage to actually get in, and then you drop the red Slater ability. If you get another one here, you're going to be perfect RNG, and you'll be set. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and just rush this ulti real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and just dump some other cards here, because there's no way I'm getting other ultis out. Bam. Okay. So, reason I wanted to rush the ulti, get this all done, is then I can just go for the 1-tap here. Hopefully it's enough damage. So here's the boss putting up his stuff. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop one of these, 2 of these. Hopefully it's enough, and then ulti. So there's that. Boom. And then Valenti. Boom, little chip there, and then I get the defense goes down just to make sure. Get it up again, and then we're just gonna go ahead and Escanor ulti and Kaplow. He's dead. So you only get about 297,000 from this. That's really not a lot of damage, but you finish it really quick, and your HP value stays very high. I ended up getting about 1,800 points for this run. So you get a significant amount of points, plus I break the HP threshold here. It works okay. I'm not sure if I like this strategy in particular. I've broken over 2,000 easily before. There are other characters I kind of wanted to try, but this is a very fast way of getting good points. On the extreme difficulty, which I'm not sure we're getting, it's very, very similar to the first 2 phases. Except the boss has this new passive that's going to give him, for phase 1, 10% of his missing HP every turn. So if you are trying to chip him down very slowly, you actually will regenerate slowly over time. But he will have the same abilities as he did on the first phase for the normal difficulty, and the same ultimate ability for the normal difficulty, except now it is 500% attack. Shield as well is only 400% defense on this phase. And then on phase 2, he has significantly more HP. As you can see, he goes up to 363,000 from the original 278. And he's going to have the same abilities as he had before, where he's going to have that corrosion-based ability. And he's also going to have the same abilities as the first 2 phases. He still has the regeneration thing, where he's going to regenerate 10% of his missing HP. Ultimate ability is still going to do 500. Is now going to do 500% as an area effect attack in reverse to a 400% attack. By using green Lizhawk or Anvil and on this team, I'm able to just run through it quicker. I just have to rush multiple ultis here, so that's going to be problematic, you know? Alright, so let's do the extreme version. As you can see, it has 170,000 HP, and this is a CC, and that's very, very, very difficult for anybody in global at this point. So I'm going to just go ahead and do a full send rush here. We're just going to use every ability we can. Okay, do that. The Valentia. Maybe I should have used the Escanor ability in like second here, but oh, we still got the Ignite F, so I think we're okay. And Kaplow. Okay. Alrighty. You can see we're still taking damage here, even with this team. And the nice thing is here, since we have no buffs, he's only going to do the Amplify-based attack, so I can just rush ultimates here, and then we'll be okay, hopefully. So, looks like I don't really have any ultimates that are really, really good to rush here, so I'm just going to have to use 4 moves on one character, which is kind of unfortunate. And I don't think that's the best play, so maybe I'll just rush damage down a little bit here. And we'll try to get more cards for the next phase, and then just do a different kind of rush the next phase. That's guessing my point value. I guess we can take an ultimate here too. It doesn't actually matter that much if I take an ultimate, but if I stock 2 ultis, that's probably the best case scenario. So let's go ahead and I'm going to do this. I'm going to just do an Escanor card here. I'm going to do a move and an attack here. Try to get the Lizhawk ulti up. And then whoever he ultis, I think I'll just use an ultimate on that character first. So, who are you ultimating? Okay, we got an ultimate on Jillian. Looks like she took some damage here, but that's okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to start rushing the Valenti ulti, I guess. We're going to go ahead and just use an Escanor ulti here. And then I'm going to do a move on the Escanor real quick. Dump this card and this card, just so I can get it back in a second. Boom. Okay, 310,000 damage. Okay, now we're going to the next phase here. Okay, so it looks like we're going to get another Escanor ulti up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start it up here with these Jillian cards. And then I'm going to just rush the Escanor ulti and then use the Jillian card afterward. And I think we'll be okay. We'll either kill him or we'll be really close coming in soon here. Boom, boom. And then we get the Escanor ulti rush here. Bam. And then we're going to get the Jillian card here. Boom. Alright, so now we have Escanor ulti and Jillian ulti. And the nice thing is, if I use the Jillian ulti here, it's not going to actually affect me that much. You can see we're taking very minor amounts of damage. We just want to finish the boss right now. I'll just get a little bit more points by using this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move this over. I'm going to do this, defense skills down, and then I'll use this card right here. And I think that should be pretty good for points here overall. I'm hoping that we get a decent amount of points and we're done with the fight, but we'll see. Boom. About 300,000 there. Nice. Good lifesteal and everything. And we ended up with a total of 3,209 points. So, yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Pretty much just all global teams. I ended up getting about 6,696 points total, which is pretty good. It's not amazing. I definitely can do more on extreme, hard, and normal to try this. But as far as 6,700 points total goes, that's fairly good. And if we look at my guild right now, the people in my guild right now, this is close to, they're like in the 5K, 4K range. So you get a lot more points on Extreme for doing these ones, and it did pretty good. Alright guys, my name's Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it was helpful, informative, and let me know in the comment section down below what you want to try for different teams, and see if you want to try out different strategies and all that stuff. Have a great day, guys. Like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Bye!